Well, good morning and welcome to HCA 214 Integrated Healthcare Delivery Systems. My name is Chris Gibbons. I'm going to be your instructor for this course. I'm also the director for the Healthcare Administration program. And welcome to your first course within the HCA program. If you, for those of you that are in HCA Healthcare Administration, 214 is the gateway course for all of our other courses. Now, there are some of you that are involved in our medical imaging program, so welcome. Welcome to all of our medical imaging professionals and also folks in here who are taking the healthcare administration minor. It is a wonderful complement to your healthcare degree and having the minor in healthcare administration. Again, my name is Chris Gibbons. A little bit about my background for the medical imagers out there. I'm a radiologic technologist, an R, and I'm also a CT, so it's computed tomography for the rest of you folks out there. That's that big donut thing that they put people through to get those wonderful images of folks. So I do have that frontline healthcare experience, been there, done that. Also, the administration perspective for many years, being involved in many different types of administration roles within both profit and nonprofit environments. So I think I can hopefully offer you a pretty diverse perspective, but I really stress on real world. What are the real impacts for that manager, that supervisor? As so many of you who are entering this program, that'll be your first kind of step up the promotional ranks. Will be managerial or supervisory positions. Some of you are already in those positions and are getting this degree to kind of fulfill certain job requirements as well. But so I hope to make this kind of real world experience for you as we go through this and not so much of the theoretical, though we do need a little bit of that as well. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the course. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes hitting some highlights. Again, this is not meant to be totally inclusive of all the things that you'll need to be successful in the course, but just to get us started here early Monday morning on the first day of class. So one of the things you'll notice are these videos. I do like to post week in review videos every week, just touching base with you on what's going on with the course, if we have any changes, or there's any issues, problems, questions, those kind of things. Also highlighting what we're doing for the week and recapping kind of what we did last week. So please do check these videos. I am big into video, so please do spend a few minutes watching these. All right, so a little bit about the course itself. Let's jump in to the syllabus. That's one of the first things that you'll want to do is to print out the syllabus. I'll have a link below my image here, which will have a PDF of that. Do print it out. Even in today's digital age, I try not to print as little as possible, but the syllabus is one thing I would recommend that you print. Keep that, fold it up, put it in your textbook. It will be a great resource kind of to keep you on track as you go. Note too that we might have some changes to the syllabus as we go through the course. So again, keep in tune with the course news and what's going on there. All right, so let's take a look at the syllabus and what we have here. I'm going to go ahead and shrink my image down. And let's see, bring that up. Okay, so in here, you'll notice my contact information, so do take note of that. I'm also going to post in the next day or two after everybody's kind of checked in with the course. I'm going to post my cell phone information. Please text me. I prefer text messaging versus any other form of communication. So that way I can get back to you within a few minutes, maybe a few hours, depending on what's going on in my life at that particular moment. But versus virtual office, which is one way to communicate, but quite honestly, that could be, depending on what I'm doing. I mean, you could have up to a 48-hour delay if it's on a weekend, if it's on a Sunday and you posted it late Friday night and I've got things with the family going on Saturday. I may not be able to get that to Sunday night. 48 hours have already transpired. So with texting, I can usually get back to you, within minutes, hours, that kind of thing, no matter where I'm at, whatever I'm doing. So do keep that in mind. Also on here, my office phone number. I'm usually sitting right here at my desk. If I'm not in a meeting or a meeting with a student, I'm usually sitting right here and I'll answer that phone. So please feel free to use that as well. And then online office hours by appointment. So if we do have a question or problem and you want to spend a little bit more time in depth one-on-one with me, please feel free to send me an email, text message, and I guess we'll square some time away for us to talk. We could use a couple different ways to do that. There's always the old-fashioned just call me on the telephone, or we could even use Adobe Connect, one of our GoToMeeting type software applications that we have. Don't worry, it's pretty user friendly. All right, so all right, let's talk a little bit about the course real quick and kind of the expectations as we go forward. So as you look through here, of course, we got our add drop dates, very important information to be aware of. If for any reason, gosh forbid, you'd want to drop this course. Hope not, but sometimes things happen in life, and it is required that you may need to drop the course. Please take note of those dates. Our course objectives, what we hope to learn and will learn by the end of this course, are all listed here. I won't read them for you, but we tried to keep these down to about 5 to 7 course objectives for all of our courses within the Healthcare Administration program. This one a little bit more ambitious with 7 course objectives, but really with this course, what it's meant to be is this broad view of the U.S. healthcare. So we've got a pretty big mission. Now, with that broad view, we're covering everything only a couple feet deep. So that's not a lot of depth, but a lot of breadth in this course. Nevertheless, we do have some pretty lofty objectives to get you acclimated to the U.S. healthcare system. Course materials, textbook. So hopefully all of you have the textbook and the one with the kind of the flag on the front of it. So hopefully you have that textbook in hand. If you don't, and I know some of you are coming in at the last moment, waiting for some information from the college before registering, that there are PDFs located in the module, so you can not be behind in the reading. Now, the publishers get a little upset if I do too many PDFs of their textbooks. Chris, why don't you just do the whole textbook? Well, they of course they want, and they do their compensation for producing a textbook. But I like to, at least the first 3 modules, I think is kind of the comfort zone. Anything beyond that, anything really beyond more than 75% or 25% of the textbook, they could send their lawyers after me. So I don't want intellectual property lawyers coming after me. So please try to have your textbook. This gives us 3 weeks to get that textbook in your hands, and that should be plenty of time, even if you were just ordering it today. But don't delay and order today if you haven't already ordered your textbook. And do let me know. Sometimes, occasionally, we do have issues with textbooks, and you've done your due diligence, you've ordered the textbook on time, but for whatever reasons, whether it's Amazon or our own online bookstore, they're delayed or they're out of stock. Let me know. Let me know if that issue has occurred. Okay, so textbook. And then also we have the APA guide. So many of you have purchased that APA guide as a part of a required textbook for this course. Here is the story on that. You're going to be using that APA guide all the way through the program, so please hold on to that guide. APA is our standard format of writing, of academic writing here at the college, and this will be a nice resource for you to have going forward. There are some great web-based resources, but there's nothing like having the real American Psychological Association manual for publication sitting on your desk. So please do keep that. It'll be a good resource for you from now until you graduate. So hold on to that textbook. Necessary equipment and skills. Well, one of the things we are going to be doing throughout this course, and you're going to find that occasionally in some of your other healthcare administration courses, whether you're taking the minor or whether you are in the Healthcare Administration program in full, is that we do have presentations very similar to what I'm doing here, where you'll be on camera and you'll be talking most likely to a PowerPoint. Now, the technology, the application that we may use for that may change over time, but the fundamentals will be the same. The fundamentals will be you talking in front of a camera, trying to look somewhat professional, as I'm trying to make my best attempt here at 8 o'clock in the morning this morning. Um, and basically, it's our way of doing an oral presentation. And we're not going to have you fly into Toledo, Ohio, because there's so much to do here in Toledo. I can say that I've been here for 20 years now. There's really not much going on here in Toledo. But so rather than bringing students to campus, we do these videos where you're presenting and you are able to do the presentation pretty much on your time frame too, because we do know that many of you are healthcare workers, and I know that you have crazy schedules. So you may be doing your video presentation at 2 o'clock in the morning and then submitting that to your instructor. We don't know. I mean, it's always funny when I see things submitted, but that allows you again the flexibility to do these things that works for your life. That works for your family life as well and your work life. So with that being said, you're going to need a camera. Probably got a laptop, so you probably got a halfway decent camera in the laptop, and you're going to need some form of microphone. Many laptops have the microphone built in. I don't want to make you newscasters. You're not going to be, worried too much about trying to get to professional level of production. But what we do want you to do is, again, think of it like an oral presentation where you do want to put some thought and effort into what you're doing. And part of that does involve a little bit of technical stuff. So we want to get used to that technical stuff, and we want to do that in this class. So when you are out there doing other classes, you're kind of used to it. You're like, okay, I got another one of these presentations. We call them move notes because that's the application we happen to be using now. But we want to get you acclimated to that in this course. So please don't freak out. And know that we all look like dorks on camera. So just embrace the dorkiness, because it does feel very weird when you start doing these things. I'm sitting here, talking to a webcam at 8 o'clock in the morning. It does seem a little strange. But trust me, you'll get used to that. Now, there is some method to the madness as well for having you do these. And one is, again, it's substitute for our oral presentations rather than bringing you here to campus, which would be tremendously inconvenient, impossible, and extraordinarily costly for you. The other one is that there is a definite trend, and this is not going away as far as we can tell, for what we call Skype interviews. Many of my friends who have been in healthcare, moving up to the next positions or whatever, are having Skype interviews. And that means that you're interviewing for that position through Skype or FaceTime or something. It's usually Skype. And you're interviewing through a camera. And there are some definite horror stories about people blowing the interview, not taking the Skype interview as serious as they would a in-person interview. So we want you to be comfortable with this kind of video connection that you're making with your camera and your laptop, because you will most likely, I would almost guarantee, unless you decide never to take a promotion or move out of your job, which is almost impossible in today's environment, that you will have a Skype or something similar video at multiple points throughout your career. So we want you to be comfortable with this thing, which is naturally kind of uncomfortable. And then lastly, the other reason that we do these video presentations is a form of identity. Should your identity ever be called into question at various points of the program, we actually do go back to these videos to see, hey, did this person do that video? Is this who they said they were compared to their compared to their driver's license? So there is a form of identity verification, if you will, as you go through the program. So that's important for you because that preserves the integrity of your degree here at Mercy College. And we are very big on making sure that your degree and that integrity of that degree is preserved. So that's the method to the madness on that. All right, let's move on. basically just going to run through the grades real quickly, and then we will wrap this up. Our first kind of welcome to the course and our weekend review. Take a look at the grades and how the major assignments for the course. So we have discussion boards. Now, make sure you're participating in those and that you're meeting those deadlines. Make sure that you have your main post in by Thursday and that you've replied back to at least a couple of your peers by Sunday at midnight. Please feel free to continue that conversation with those peers if you want to go back and forth. That's absolutely okay to do that. But again, make sure you're following that. If you look at the total points on your discussions, it's 180 points. That's more than your final exam. So I always tell students, go for the easy points. Don't let the easy points slip away. Make sure you do those. And those are relatively easy points. Follow the rubrics that are in the course. That will help you to get that A in those areas. So we have discussion boards. We have our weekly quiz. Again, kind of easy points for the grabbing, 160 points there. We're going to have a weekly assignment in there at 15 points each. And then we're going to have our research project. This will be kind of threaded throughout the course. And it's one thing that I will talk about in just a moment. So we'll skip that one for now. We're going to have our research project comments. We're going to be commenting back on your peers' projects. Weekly reflections. Again, other easy points, but it's a good way for me to connect with you. Make sure that you're doing those weekly reflections. A midterm and a final will be in this course as well. All right, so let's before we wrap up here, let's go take a look at the major project that we have here. So we've got the presentation project. Now, with that, nothing to do this week, except maybe think. Think about what you might want that project to be on. You can look in the course, and in the course on the left-hand side is a navigation menu, and I'll show you where that is in just a moment. But start thinking about what you want that topic to be, because we're going to start working on that in Module 2, and as you can see, we'll kind of work through that project. So I guess, if anything, just as you're reading the chapter reading for this week, and you're kind of flipping through the textbook, think about what you may want that to be. Now let's jump out of here real quick. So that kind of concludes a little walkthrough on the syllabus. But remember, this is not. Do spend some time in reading the syllabus and becoming familiar with the information that's in there. All right, let's get out of here and let's jump into the course real quick. And on the content area, of course, you always want to start your courses with the content button. That's where basically the course is, and you'll find. Again, I know all of you, or many of you, might be new. Let me just scoot this over to the program and kind of new to online learning. So I will spend a moment. So those of you that are veterans, please bear with us here. So of course, down here on the left-hand side, you can see Module 1, 2, 3. That's how you'll navigate the course and the weekly work that you'll have in the course. Also, you have in here major projects. So let me scoot that down just a bit. And that's where I would like you to take a look. Right now, let me see. There's Module 1, and let's go back to major projects. So this is what it looks like. So you can actually take a peek at what that's going to be for Part 1, which is going to be due in Module 2. So take a look at that Part 1 and get those ideas thinking. You're going to be able to basically pick anything, or really almost anything. This pretty much includes all of healthcare right here. But if you do have something that you do think doesn't fit the mold there, but you would like to do something, healthcare oriented, please let me know, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that. Make sure that that is going to be good. Okay, so kind of look at those 1 through 8s, those ideas on healthcare and how you want to do basically your course project is what I would encourage you to do this week as you're kind of reading and doing everything. All right. So that kind of concludes our little syllabus walkthrough. Normally, my weekend reviews will not be 20 minutes long. This is kind of my welcome video and a little bit of syllabus walkthrough. Normally, they will be about 5 to 7 minutes long. So thank you for bearing with me on that. So remember, any questions, any problems, don't hesitate to contact me. Chris prefers, I'm using a third person, I prefer text message, then also email and virtual office, but you're probably looking at response time measured in 12 to 24 hours versus minutes to only a couple of hours with texting. So try to use that, which you will find my text will be, I'll post that again probably on Tuesday or Wednesday after everybody's checked into the course. I will post that information as kind of get everybody kind of acclimated the first couple of days. All right. Great. Well, that concludes the weekend review for Module 1. And as always, thank you for watching.